In this video, I challenged myself to find over $500 in profit in just 30 minutes, live. You'll see how I search for products, analyze them, and decide what's worth buying so you can replicate the process for yourself. I got a storefront already open here, so we're just gonna run through this and see what we can find, do a live sourcing all the way through here. The only kind of criteria that I'm going to have when I'm looking through this seller app storefront is to just avoid listings with Amazon on it, because it's just not competition that you really want when you're starting out or for a while. It's just harder to sell those kind of products. So we're just going to open up some of these here and we're going to see what exactly the product looks like. And this looks like a pretty good chart. I mean, it has a dip in here, but it's because all of these sellers increased here as it went back down. It stayed pretty consistent for almost the last month, and it's starting to go up even more. So that looks like a pretty good chart, and we need a buy cost of $17.33 here. And Gap is one of those companies that usually always has sales going on. So that is going to probably be something that we can do. So we got $24.99 here, and the size is a medium here. It is in stock, and I believe that they always have this 20% off going on down here. So we've got 20% off, and then we can also check here what kind of gift cards we've got going on, and it looks like we've got a lot with 19% range. My advice is always open these up and make sure that it's enough to get your order. Don't just assume that it's 19% off all the time, because you can see here that we've got different amounts here. Sometimes it'll just be like one $5 or $10 gift card that's at that price. So you wouldn't want to do all of the math and then when you go to buy the gift card realize that you can't actually get it at that price. But we've got some pretty good percentages here on the last one, and there are a couple $25 there. And this is mainly what I was talking about, where it's not all of them, so it's specific amounts, but we do have 20% there. So we've got $24.99 times 80%. That's the first 20% off, and then we'll do another 80% rough just to get that price there. If you have sales tax or a prep fee, you may need to add in a little bit. So we could just do, for a prep fee, maybe $1. We're still good. If you have sales tax, it might be $16.50 here. We're still good either way. So this is a really good, profitable product that's moving a lot, low sales rank, and decreased competition as of now. Only 11 other offers, and only 5 of them are FBA. So we can even go down here and check and see, okay, so this is a merchant fulfilled, and what we'll do is go into the buy box statistics, just see kind of what we are looking at. And it is going to be a little bit skewed because of that last 3 months. It was pretty low, but we can see by last one is what we'll do. We got 37, 35, 36, 38, 39. So we could realistically get up to at least this 36 range, if not the 37 range. And if we look at that here, we've got an even higher ROI and 37, 40% there. So this is a really good product. The next step I would take is going through here. And what I like to do is, if this is your buy cost, we'll just go with the $15.99, assume that there's no sales tax so we can have an exact number here. And what I'll do is I'll just run through and see exactly what the minimum is that we're going to have. So whenever it turns red, that's what I'm going to look for, and it'll probably be a little bit higher than that. Might be pretty close to, yeah, so pretty much 33 there is what it's going to be. So what I'll do is come in here. It's already sorted by this. You can go low to high or you can go high to low. I like to do high to low just because then you can hit your bottom easier without having to scroll down to the bottom of the list first. And what I'm going to do is just look at these seller counts. So like this one's moving a little bit. So we could open this one up. This one's definitely moving, the extra small of that. And I'm not too concerned with looking at this yet because this is a zoomed out chart, very small. So it's easier to tell when you're looking at the full chart there. And we actually just opened up the one that we already have, but the small's even. So we're going down to 33 on whatever looks good. This one too. This one is decent. Seller count's rising a little bit, and that's going to be it for that. So then what we can do is come over here and see what sizes and color these are. And we know that our price is $15.99. So that looks to be that same color, black, unless there's a true black, but there's not. So that is the product there, and we'll go ahead and throw in that $15.99. I'm just going to copy that for all the rest of them. And we've got a good price there, decent chart, not the best chart that I've ever seen, but it would still move some units. It might be a little bit slower than the rest of them, but it's all right there. And the lowest point, Amazon is not on. Okay, so that's why. So Amazon is on. So I would just cancel that one out there. Not sure why Amazon was turned off on these. So we've got this one that's moving decently down here. Consistent price, didn't really drop below that 33 except for right here and right here, just a tiny bit lower. So this is a decent one too, and we've got that $15.99 current price, even higher profit and ROI. So that's a good product right there. Then we've got not a great one here. I mean, it is also because seller count was at a high point that it dropped down, and it has restabilized. For this kind of stuff, we'd look back at the year and just kind of analyze it. Don't base it off of what it was to expect it to go back, but just to see, like, is this price a price spike just because there's low sellers, or is this dip mainly because of the highest point of sellers? And I would say it's the second option. The dip is because it's the highest point that the sellers have ever been at in the last year, and it was consistently that price. So it looks like it just returned to what it should be. So this one also, we've got 772 at this price, 40. Oh, it's at 36.99 actually. Didn't notice that. So that would be even lower than what it is now. And what I would probably want to know is like this price right here, just because that is the most recent, and it did return down to 28 here. But if we go ahead and look at the offers, we've only got 38s and 45s. So you could probably get away with 40. Just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with and your risk tolerance, if that's something that you want to worry about. And we can see in the last week or 2 weeks, it's been at all 40s, nothing lower except for just now this guy at $36.99, which does not show up here. So it may just be that is an error right there at a $0 cost. But this looks like a decent product that we could sell also. And then that, so that's number 2 off of just looking at one right here. Then we've got this one, the large, and I don't know if I actually checked this size here. So we're going to need to get back to our original one, which I don't, this one. Okay, so we've got a size small, and then this next one is a large. So the small is still there, only a few left, but it does let you get the 5, which is the max order quantity for each order on these. So you'd have to split up your orders. If you want 10, I would recommend either 5 to 10 units on a test order. And then we've got the size large here, which is also available. So we're going to throw in that price right there. It is a little bit under right now, and that is probably not something I would recommend taking a risk on, because it has been consistently $29.99 here for FBA offers. If that was merchant fulfilled and these were all only FBAs up here, then that would be a different story. But this might be something that you put in a check back list, see what you can do after maybe a week or so. And then if it does raise up a little bit, or maybe you have a little bit of a lower minimum on your ROI, then this would be something that would work for you. But looking here, it is only one offer, but it does consistently return down to that $29.99 or $29.63. So maybe a little bit riskier on that side. So we'll count that one out there, and we'll check this one here. So this is not a great chart that we're looking at. It is consistently 33, but it's on a steady decline, and the offers are rising there almost by 100% in the last 2 or so weeks. So that is not a typical product that I would want to go for, just because this adds a lot of risk when it's increasing by this much in such a short period of time, and the price is already on a decline. That's not a great sign. Although these are all FBA offers here, and these ones are merchant fulfilled, that could be why it's bringing it down slowly, but still probably wouldn't want to take a chance on something like that, because if you start to go down even $1, you're at 21%. And then you go down another dollar and you're at 15%. And you can get the picture, like you really only have $2 more to go before you're losing money. So around 29, you'd probably be in the negative or so. So that's a good quick 3 products right here, just off of checking variations on an already existingly good product. We'll check out some more here. I am not familiar with how this brand looks on Amazon and everything, but we can still take a look at it. We'll just open a couple up here and see what we got going on. So a lot of these are Amazon listings, but there are a lot of other Gap listings that don't have Amazon on them. It's a really good brand for beginners and experienced sellers to look into. And this is a really long list of just Amazon offers. So those are all 3 the same product. That's why I'm not going to go ahead and open up all of them, because we'll just check the variations if one of them's good. And that's all the same colors of the same product. I just want to get some new products in here. Looks like this guy cleans up on different sizes and colors of the same listings, just like what I was showing you looking through that last product. It seems like that's his main strategy of finding one good product and then opening up and seeing the rest of them. So we've got some good ones in here. Not too sure. This is personally, for me, too slow. I would just instantly ignore that as I'm going through that. This one also, we can check some of the other ones and see, because this is a really low rank with a very high sales per month there. So it's got to be coming from somewhere. But it looks like all of these listings are mainly just 1 or 2 people, which is very interesting to me, at least. You don't see a lot of that kind of stuff. Now, if you see something like this and all the offers are at 1, you can invest in a product like this and test them out. But I personally don't do that, just because there's not any movement unless these guys have thousands of units of this. This to me just doesn't look like a great product here. So what we'll just do is check the stock, and there's only 1 there. So yeah, it's not looking great for me. I would pass on that. Just because you can make money on a product doesn't mean you want to put your time and capital into it. So we're going to do the same thing here. Go ahead and check some of the variations on here, because some of these have got to be moving. This one's moving. This one. That one's a little bit slower, but that's still not bad. These ones are good. And what we should do first is also check and see, like, what kind of range can we even get that at. So we need a boys version of this, and it is the logo hoodie. It looks like it's going to be this one here. Depends on if the sizes are in numbers or letters, because you'll run into that sometimes, and it looks like these are going to be in small, medium, larges. Okay, so these also have small, medium, and large there. Now, is this, yep, it is a zipper. So it looks like that's going to be our price right there, because those are men's, those are babies. Yeah, so that's looking like what it's going to be. This is probably the same listing, gray. Yeah, okay, so we've got $19.99 there. So what we're just going to do is just see if we can do this, and we're going to safely assume the 20% on both. So we're just going to throw in a 60% off here, and we got it at $11.99. So we are profitable. If you have a prep fee of $1, you're still at 25%. It's a little too close for my comfort, because I like some room to move, but everybody has their own criteria and all that. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of these. Amazon is on this listing. They're on this one pretty consistently also. They do have some gaps in here, and from June to July, so about a month gap. Depends on, yeah, so that's a pretty strong buy box domination right there from Amazon. When you do get into those kind of listings, that is something that you'll want to take a look at. This one, we're not going to be able to be profitable on this because of that dip right there, and it seems like it is a pretty consistent price for this listing, so that's out. We've got a bit of a price spike because Amazon's coming off. This is a little bit risky also, because price was very low, and it looks like this 26 is a pretty good medium price for that. It does return down there all the time, so that is going to be good ROI right there, low profit. So that's okay. I mean, you can't really get down to that 24, but you might be able to get down to that 25 here. No, so even $1 or so, it does take it below $1. you only have to move. So I wouldn't recommend to anybody a product like that. This one, Amazon, also dominating. Seller count down here, too slow. And this is kind of something that you want to dial in on and avoid things like that quicker, because a lot of people waste time on products because they put too much time into analyzing them. You need to know what your criteria is and stick to it. And then once you do that and dial in on that, you'll be able to source a lot more, a lot quicker. Because if you don't have that kind of process set up, then you're going to be using a lot of time on stuff that isn't worth using your time on. So that whole listing, all the ones that Amazon wasn't on, seller count wasn't really moving. That's why I got rid of those right away. So we'll just skip past this. That's the same product. We've got something else here that we can take a look at, depending on Amazon being in stock on a lot of them. And what I'm gonna do is just move the Amazon over a little bit, just so that way we can see right away, since we're looking at a lot of these. We will need to know our cost though. So we've got $17.49 here. Yep, $17.49. So times 60% here, $10.49. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just throw in a 25. Yeah, so it looks like it's gonna be right around 23.10. So we'll just say 23.10, and we'll run through this list right here. See if we can get any. That one's really slow. Would have been decent, but this one's got some movement going on. This one too. The ones that Amazon are on also have some movement, but we don't want to deal with that. So that one was good. This one's decent movement. A lot of decrease in the last month or so. We've got some. That one's got a rising offer count there. This one's decent. It's a little slower. That's a little bit down for me right there, but some people still make money on those kind of products. I just don't like to take the chance on losing money or getting close to that break even. 23.08, that one's going to be close. So we got a good amount of them in here. We'll have to see exactly what colors and stuff they are, but we'll go ahead and get rid of that one. So we've got not a great chart, slower moving, only been around for 200 days. So that's decent. Movement, not great, but we got $17.49. I forgot what my cost was in that other box. So we'll just do that again real quick. $10.49. Okay. So you do have some room to move. I mean, you got $8, maybe $9 on some of these, if bigger sizes versus smaller sizes. So it was reaching down to that 20 range though. So this is not a very safe product there. It is profitable now. You could order this, merchant fulfill it, try and get some orders in at this price instead of sending it into FBA. That would be a good way to go about a product like this where you're worried about it dropping down, just so that way you could return it. So we'll leave that one in there because it would be a good merchant fulfilled product. This one's decent. I mean, there's some flat parts in here, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this top price graph here. So this, I would say, is a good product too. I mean, the lowest you're going to get is $29.50 from the last 3 months, it seems like, and this is only $28.99. So we can throw in that $29.50 just to be sure, and we're at 69% ROI. So that's a good product right there. We do need to check if these are in size though, or in stock. So it's looking like I don't see that green color anywhere. Yeah, so this one is just gasoline green, and I'm not seeing that there. So unfortunately, that one is not available. We do have a gray one in a large here that we were just looking at, which is in stock. So we'll go ahead and count this one as a good product because we got some movement in here going through. We got good pricing right here like we just were mentioning. So that is a good option right there. We've got something here that's pretty decent. I mean, we can get down to that 23 price. So we've got a good ROI there. And if we go ahead and just throw that in there, it is still at 35% if you hit this floor price. If you went down to 16, not going to be as great, but it was only this one seller that brought it in, and he must have sold out right here where you see this dip from 8 to 7, started to go back up. So that is also going to be a good product if it is in stock. And we've got color is not looking like it's available here, unfortunately. No. Okay, so that one's out. That would be a good product if it was in stock. Slow decline here, not by much though. We are at 63% with around $4 to move. There's some good offer count in here. A little bit slower, and this is at a different price here. And it's looking like that size is out of stock. So that's all right. This size or this color was not in stock either. And then we've got the same one right here, and this is going to be that one that's right on the edge there. We are getting up to $24.98. $23.08 is merchant fulfilled. You could take that prime bump because it is just the one seller here. So if we sold it at that, we do have that 31%. Went up to $24.99. We do have 39% there. And you can always check and see what the pricing is. So the merchant fulfilled is at $23.08. Doesn't really even look like it's registered in here at all. The lowest one is going to be 25 days ago, 29 days ago, 6 minutes ago, 24.34 and 24.99 within the last day. All mainly 24s in the last day except for this. So you could expect to get up to that 24.99. So that is also a good product here. We've got the size in stock right there. So that is going to be another good product to keep there because we've got our gift cards already. We know what the pricing is on those. We'll move through some more real quick, see if we can get up to around $500 or so in profit in this one video because we're at around like 310 right now. If you did test orders at 10 on each of these products that we're doing, if you did 15, it would bump that up even more. But for new products and new sellers, generally around 10 is a good option if you have a lot of capital available. And these are all just the same product there that we were just looking at. So I'm trying to get through these and just see what else we've got going on here. Amazon on the new product here. And we've got some that really have nothing going on in here. That's another way that you can kind of exclude products as you go through this, is just kind of check this, see if there's a lot of movement or at least like colors in this graph, because you're obviously not going to see those orange triangles as you can tell, but you can get a general idea. It's not the best way to go about it because opening up the Amazon pages are definitely going to be a lot more detailed and give you a lot of information that you won't get from here. And this guy is really just the king of variation listings. Like, this is probably the most that I've ever come across of the same products on one person's store. We're just going to open this and see if there's any of these without Amazon on, just real quick, because you might not have every single variation. So it would just be about like checking the variations tab in here, seeing if there's any good ones that Amazon is not on. And that was a good choice to make because we do have one right off the bat right there that is looking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can find this, see what the price is before we go ahead and look at all of the rest. And this is going to be that product right there. Gray medium is in stock. So we got $24.99 there. $24.99 times 60% off. We've got $14.99 right there. And this is not probably going to get you at 40. You might be able to get some if you merchant fulfill it, but if you're sending it in an FBA, I would definitely check this 34 cost right there, and that is also going to be good. So we've got a 34. I mean, we can check the buy box statistics on this, see what it's been like. So 36, pretty much 36 for the most recent, like biggest amount of percentage for that price range. Then we've got a 39 right here. We've got 42. Could probably get up to that 37 range. So we're just going to throw 37 in there. And then we just got another $89 off there. So we're almost up to $400 in profit off of that product alone. We're going to go through and actually see what is our minimum. Probably 30.75 is going to be pretty close. Yeah, 30.75 or like 30.80. So we'll just say for this, we'll go down to 31. And that is going to be that. So that is just the one product that we've got in there that Amazon's not on, except for actually this one here. Could be a price spike, but it depends on what the floor price is in there. So floor price is 30. Could safely check the 30, and we've got 14.99. All right, so then 30. We'll just throw in 30. It is low, so let's see what that 30.50 brings us up to. Yeah, it's not looking great. We can go ahead and check this out here and see what the buy box statistics are going to look like here. And we got 34, a lot of 32s. Most recent 32 to 33 might be a safe bet because we don't really have anything except for that 20 days ago. So let's just see what 33 would look like. And we've got 14.99. Yeah, so there we go. I mean, you could expect to get that. You could merchant fulfill this one too. Not a bad idea. A lot of people sleep on merchant fulfillment because some people just don't want to do the work. But if you run into products like this, definitely a good option to take because you make a lot of extra money doing it that way. All right, so let's check this last size that we did not. Oh, it's the Amazon listing. Okay, so that was going to be the one that we were doing the variations off of. So we're up to a total right now of $430 right there off of all these products at a 10 unit test. And so what we're going to want to try and do is just see if we can get some more products in there. We'll go ahead and just see if we can find a different one in here. This one probably going to be harder to find at a $10 buy cost. That's pretty low. Yeah, we would need 50% off, which is going to be pretty hard. I mean, you can do these kind of things if you want. It's 15% right there. See if that's the same as their email one if they have one. They don't. So that's 15%. We'd still need about 35% off there. So we'll just go ahead. Yeah, they don't have any gift cards. That's going to be pretty impossible to get down to that buy cost there. You'd need a pretty good sale going on to do that. We'll open up this one since this is a new product right there. And not a great chart going on. Oh, and this is actually the same product as before. Thought it was a different hoodie, but it's not. And that color, not looking like it's going to be in here. So we will move on to the next one and see if we can get anything else since we're at 430 right now. Try and get to 500 and see if we can do that in this one video. These ones might be more possible there on a $20 cost, but there's only 3 offers. Could be a price spike. See what the other ones load in and show us here. So that is the same product. Amazon, too low of a buy cost. Then we've even got a 30-cent buy cost. That's insane. That's just not possible, and that is probably because Amazon is destroying the listing there. So that is not something that we would want to go for, and that is kind of the reason that I was saying stay away from Amazon listings, because if they don't want you to compete, you're not going to be able to compete. No matter how low of a buy cost you get it, you're not getting a t-shirt for 30 cents. Unless you got a ton of like Kohl's cash or something and you get a $0 buy cost, but still you're not making anything on a 30-cent buy cost right there. These are going to be this product. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some of these, see what we can get here. We'll need to know our cost if it's even possible, and that is definitely going to be possible. We are going to have some good margins on these. So we've got $12.49 there times 60% off, or 40% off times 60%. Yeah, we've got a long way to go down for this. Yeah, so we're looking at probably like $17.50-ish. Okay. $17.65 is probably going to be our thing in here that we just use. Yeah, we'll just go with $17.60 there. So we've got some going on. I mean, that's going to be slower. That is this one here. This one's also a little bit slow. That one's got some decreasing in there. We'll open that one up, see what we can see. Then we've got this one also that's got some decent movement going on. And these gap listings are going to be slow looking for most of them. But they do move. So don't get discouraged by seeing stuff like this, because if you compare it to like the big brands, Nike, Adidas, Puma, all that stuff, it's never going to look like that. So you test these products, see how it sells, go back and get some more. And the buy box did just come back here at $23.99. So we do have a pretty profitable product there. Might want to go a little bit more conservative on something like that. Maybe do 5 units. This one's decent. It's got some movement going on. And our price is $7.49 there. So we're gonna throw that in. We got 22, yep. And then we've got profitable there. Amazon in and out of stock a little bit. And 19 is that, but it looks like it's FBM. And we've got some FBAs in here, so you could get that 23 for sure. So that's pretty good right there. I mean, with these three, we've got 500 just off this product alone. 540, $600. So if you tested 10 units of all these products, you just essentially earn yourself $600 off of just over a 30-minute sourcing session. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions about this video or you have any other topics that you want me to make videos on. There's also a link in the description if anybody wants my help either starting or growing an Amazon business. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.